Welcome to Wrong Time Watch. My name is Kevin, and in this video we're looking at 4 versions of the Zelos Swordfish 40mm stainless steel. Now, I purchased these 2 watches new, and these 2 I purchased used. I actually rebought this watch. I bought it new, sold it, came up on a local group I'm in for sale, and I just had to have it, so I picked it back up again. But anyway, the point of this video is to compare these dial colors. Also, what I wanted to mention is these 2 here were in the first release. I'm sorry, these 3 were in the first release, and this one was in the latest release. They did offer the Emerald green again, but the second time it was offered with the stainless hands and not the gilt hands that are on this model here. I hope it's coming across in camera. Sometimes by eye, it's not so easy to pick out that the handset is gilt, depending on how the light's hitting it. But one of you guys asked for a comparison video of these 2 specifically, and I had mentioned previously that I wanted to compare the mother of pearl to the Meteorite. And as I was looking for these watches, I came across this one. I kind of forgot I had this one. This is the Desert Gray. So yeah, let's just look at these 2. These are the most different from each other, probably. So the Desert Gray has a stainless steel bezel insert. It does have vintage lume applied to the bezel and to the hands and the indices. And the other 3 have a ceramic bezel insert. So let's compare the Desert Gray to the Meteorite. The dials look a little more similar to each other. The date is very hard to read on this Desert Gray. I had mentioned that in the review video of this. I'd rather not have a date at all, especially with the Meteorite dial. I'd like to see as much of this dial as possible. Before we go any further, let's go over the dimensions. Find my notes. Okay, here we go. So lug to lug on this is 46, which is very nice for a small wrist like mine, 6.5-inch wrist. Lug to lug 46. Case diameter is 40, hence the name, 40mm stainless steel. Thickness is pretty thin considering it's a 200-meter dive watch at 12mm thick. Also, it has the NH35 movement, which is a little bit thicker of a movement. Lug width is 20, and then I have written down here 51mm, and what that is the lug to lug with this fixed center link. You see how that center link protrudes out farther than the actual lug to lug. It does taper down a bit, so it does not really matter on my wrist, but if you have an even smaller wrist than mine, it may be a consideration. I've only had these on bracelet. I've not put them on a strap yet. I do like this bracelet. These real small links. Moves around very nice. Articulates very nice and well. 6 micro adjust on the clasp. Can't ask for more than that. Milled clasp. This also does have the quick release bracelet. Some people have complained about these little knobs rubbing on your wrist and causing some irritation, but I have not really noticed that. Some of the newer Zelos have quick adjustment for the clasp. This one does not. I'm fine with the micro adjust. Really don't have much complaint about these watches. I really like the Meteorite dial. Trying to find some good lighting here without too much glare. These all do have sapphire crystal, the anti-reflective coating. So I really like these watches. C3 lume, also BGW9. So we'll check out that at the end of the video. We'll compare these all to each other. It should be pretty much the same lume. Yes, Seiko NH35 movement, which I mentioned, it does have screw links. So that's all of the specs for this watch. Let's look at the mother of pearl compared to the Meteorite dial here. I've never had a mother of pearl dial before. It's really amazing. I would have a tough time choosing between these two. I think I'm going to sell. Man, I don't know. I like the emerald green too. This is a tough decision. I don't have any other green dial watches that I remember. I might have one somewhere, but for the sake of argument, let's say this is my only one. I'm almost leaning towards keeping the mother of pearl over the Meteorite. Let me know in the comments which of these four you would keep. I suppose I could keep them all, but I really need to start moving some watches on so I can bring on some other watches and share those on the channel here. I do like the vintage lume with the gilt hands. So, I don't know. This mother of pearl dial is very nice. Oh, there we go. Trying to get it in the light just right. It's very cool looking. Let's see if I can get these two in good light next to each other. I'll put each of these on wrist. They're all going to be the same size, but just going to give you an idea of how they look. I really do like this mother of pearl. I'll go back to the Meteorite again. I don't know if anyone really wants to see that desert gray. It's kind of plain looking. I have seen some of the Meteorite dials that are dyed blue. But even then, I think I would go with the mother of pearl. Even though I think Meteorite's probably a more rare material. You can't make Meteorite. Mother of pearl, you can manufacture that. We can look at the gray versus the mother of pearl. There's a bunch of different combinations here I could do with the comparisons, but mainly just wanted to look at the mother of pearl compared to the Meteorite and compared to the emerald green. So let me put these on wrist, and then we can close out the video with a lume shot. If you liked the video, please go ahead and hit that like button. I really appreciate it. It helps a lot with the channel. So let's get this on wrist. As you can probably tell I've not been wearing it. It still has some of the plastic on it. I probably should take the rest of that off. So I have a 6.5 inch wrist with about a 52 millimeter wristband. And you can see these fixed center links really almost out to the edge of my wrist. I'll zoom out on the last one just to give you an idea of how it looks. A little bit different perspective. Let's do the emerald green next, and then we'll put the Meteorite on last. So this one here is actually my second one. The first one had some damage on the case. I contacted Alshon, the owner, and he replied back right away, yeah, sure, no problem. We'll send you out a new one. So if you have any problems with your watch, it's not a big deal to work with Zelos, or Zelos to work with you. They will make it right. No questions asked. Very nice company to deal with. So there's the emerald green, the matching green bezel. The desert gray. I'm pretty sure it's desert gray. It's either that or desert sand. I think it's desert gray, and I always was calling it desert sand. This one I've actually have sized to my wrist. I've not worn it in a while. I'll probably be selling this on eventually. I need to do a full Zelos collection video. I have one more that I need to unbox, and then I think I need to do a video on a couple more of them. Not doing a very good job keeping track of this stuff. I'm actually surprised I remembered to do this comparison video. So let's try the Meteorite on last, and we'll zoom out on this one, because I haven't sized this one either. $12mm is nice and thin for a dive watch. I do have some thinner dive watches. My Glycine Combat Sub, for example, it's either 10 or 11mm thick, I forget. But that watch is a 42, and the lug to lug on that one is, I think it's 50 or 52. It's a bigger watch for my wrist, at least. All right, let's zoom out. There we go. A little notepad over there. So I think it's a great looking watch, and it fits great for a smaller wrist. All right, I'll set up the watches here, and we can check out the loom. All right, so on the very left here, there's a little bit of room on the table here. So I have my Seiko SKX 009 on the very left. Then moving over, we have the Desert Gray with the vintage loom. And then in the middle here, we have the Mother of Pearl. And then next one over to the right, we have the Meteorite up here. And then the very bottom right corner, we have the Emerald Green. So it's kind of a lame comparison video since the loom is all the same and they're essentially the same watch. But the vintage loom is a little bit darker. It's not quite as bright as these bottom two Zelos watches here. So if you're really a loom junkie, if loom is the most important thing to you, then I would steer away from the vintage loom. But the loom on all these watches are great. Really have no complaints about the loom. On par or better really than the Seiko, especially when you consider the loomed bezel insert. So if there's any other videos or anything you'd like to see, please leave it in the comments and I'll try my best to accommodate. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.